Thank you, Mr Stringer. It is indeed a pleasure to serve under your chairship and speak in this debate today. I also want to thank the Petitions Committee and Gurcharan Singh, who organised this petition, which was signed by over 3,400 people in Feltham and Heston. Indeed, it is a great concern to many of my constituents and even to those of other members, including the Honourable Member for Brentford-Kniserworth, who was unable to join today. We have friends and family deeply affected by this situation who understandably feel anxious that things could escalate further. And indeed, our local Gurdwara in Hounslow has raised this issue with us. My own family 2 generations ago worked in the agriculture in Punjab. We are all friends of India, and this is another reason why this issue cuts very deep. Men and women have been away from their families on a protest that has now gone on for over 100 days, day after day in incredibly tough conditions. Indeed, you will see on the front of Time magazine this week, the week of International Women's Day, 3 generations of women forming part of the protest. According to Oxfam India, 85% of rural women work in agriculture. And Mr Stringer, we know this is an issue that must be resolved through discussions and democratic means in India alone. But in doing that, along with democracy, is a right to press freedoms and safety of protesters. No one supports violence, and that has been rightly condemned. The laws have been suspended for 18 months by the Supreme Court, and a solution must be found. Whilst protests have been largest in Punjab, Haryana and Western UP, there have been smaller protests across the country, with people of different faiths. This is not a religious dispute. The Indian government have said they will preserve the MSP, but this doesn't yet have a legislative base. The laws have led to a fear over income and livelihoods. Experience in other countries has suggested that, contrary to improving farmers' incomes, corporatisation has depressed them, and it needs to be debated. But whatever your assessment of the laws, the concerns about press freedom and the safety of protesters are what we discuss today. Issues that led to the Leader of the House here saying that as India is our friend, it is only right we make representations when we think things are happening that are not in the interests of a country that is our friend. The world saw the arrest of 25-year-old Nodeep Kaur and then of climate activists Disha Ravi. The Sessions Judge said in granting bail that citizens are conscience keepers of the government. They cannot be jailed simply because they choose to disagree with state policies. Medical support staff have been beaten at rallies. Concerns have been raised about journalists. The Sikh Human Rights Group, an NGO with special consultative status at the UN, has received highly credible evidence in the form of 20-plus first instance report, or FIRs, from the senior advocate overseeing cases of allegations and charges that are unsustainable being made by the police. And indeed, those who have made any comment against the abuses have been subject to a tirade of abuse from far-right forces. Indeed, approach against Gurdwaras in 3 cities a few weeks ago.